And there they go, running away into the cupboards. Oh man, who'd have thought it? The same people that turn up to a kettlebell class without their kettlebells. Right, okay, we're good to go. We're making history this morning, everybody. It's mobility overhaul number 50. And that's since we started counting. Lower body overhaul like you've never had before, okay? We're getting into the nitty gritty and it's going to be broken down into parts because, you know, we're trying to keep this 45 minutes to keep you engaged. So we're going to be starting today with the glutes. We're going to be hitting up the hip flexors, the quads, and that'll probably take us the full shebang because we're going to be doing a combination of mobility and flexibility work, hence why it's the full overhaul like you've never had before. So for a lot of it, it'll be familiar to those that have been following along. Some of it might be new to you, but either way, let's get started. No farting about. We're getting stuck into the glutes. You know this one by now, probably. The glutes, the butt, the area that you can grab, you're going to sit on this ball. Simple as that. Now, I recommend that you find somewhere with a fairly hard floor. If you've got a laminate floor, you're onto a winner. If you've got a big plush carpet, it might not be the best thing. Okay, all I want you to do, quite simply, is like I say, get your butt cheek and put it onto that ball. Now you can't see it, okay? My butt's just enveloped the ball, but it's there, okay? So I'm sitting on it, and all we're going to be doing is spending a couple minutes each side, okay? So it's not a dedicated glutes class, so we're not going to be on here for a long period of time. What I want you to do is roll about on the ball, finding any significant painful area, okay? As soon as you find one that you think, oofed, right, that's pretty damn sore when I put the ball there. Find the dead center of that spot. And then what I want you to do is quite simply get all your weight down on it, okay? So I'm going to do my best to keep a straight face here, but this is not nice. So I'm on a painful spot. Usual stuff, okay? I'll always repeat myself as if it's the first time you're watching it. I'm trying to get as much weight onto this sore spot as I can. Yep, I'm pushing down on the ball. It's horrible, it's uncomfortable, but I'm making sure I'm on the dead center of the pain and discomfort. Now look at my body position here, okay? I'm kind of leaning onto the cheek that I'm working on rather than trying to lie flat, okay, and look awkward and in a horrible stress position. Get lying on it and get as much weight on there as you can. While you've got the weight on, a gentle rock back and forward, a little bit of circle to try and break up the tissue that we're working on here, okay? So not just a static hold. The beauty of this position is you can get a bit of movement in to help try to smash it up a little bit. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm not going off the area. The problem area that I'm working on, I'm staying on it. And it's just ever so slightly little wiggles back and forward while trying to get as much pressure down on that as I can. So I'm trying to push as much weight down on there as I can. The more weight, the more discomfort and pain you can inflict on this, the better. But make sure that your glutes themselves, make sure they aren't activated, okay? So make sure you're not tensing up the muscle because it's so uncomfortable, you don't want to put all your weight on it. So that's something to think about. Am I truly relaxed? And you probably find that that butt cheek, isn't he? Okay, so you're trying to just imagine that ball sinking in there first and foremost. Sinking into the muscle tissue's wrapping around it. It has to be on your problem area, okay? Don't just hold a spot because it feels all right. I'm seeing some pretty damn chilled looking faces looking back at me, okay? That's not to say you should be, okay? We're trying to keep our pain face away because we don't want to be all tensed up throughout this. Right, okay, so pressure wave. I've been on there a wee while now. Been putting the pressure on, jiggling backwards and forwards if you like. Okay, next one, contract and relax, okay? So I'm on the sore spot still, and I'm going to squeeze my butt as if I'm at the top of a glute bridge, and then relax. And it's on that relax that you'll find that, oh my word, okay? That's going to help get some fresh blood into that area, but also it's going to let you slowly introduce more weight. Yes, okay. So glutes. Glutes, they get absolutely used and abused and forgotten about. Okay, those of you with tight lower backs, it's always a good place to do some work on your glutes because again, up, downstream, side to side, we're going to help feed some slack into the lower back by getting rid of the tightness here. Because if there's tightness here, it's going to be pulling down on the lower back, which is going to make your lower back feel tight as well. So it's not always the direct area that's the cause. Okay, so finally, we're going to do the smash and floss, the bit where people start to pass out on screen. This is where all I want you to do is hold the the spot you're on. Now, there's no right or wrong way to move your leg, okay? If you know how to do breaststroke, pull the knee up, dig it out, okay? And you can get that kind of movement going while pinning the sore spot with the lacrosse ball, okay? So what I'm doing now is helping to just, well, quite simply, crush that muscle tissue against the bone and just try to grind and break it up. And it's awful, everybody. It is disgusting. So if you're just kind of, again, just sitting there going, you're not doing it right, okay? So put some effort into it, inflict some pain upon yourself and get better, okay? And what you can do just for this final bit is get the foot across onto the knee, really open up those glutes and just get stuck into them, okay? Last 30 seconds. Try to break up that tissue. Now, had this been a dedicated glute session, okay, we would have been spending a wee bit longer on it. But remember, we keep coming back to the same areas. Oh, and relax there. Okay, can you talk through that bit? Okay, catch your breath. You're probably boiling by now after that. So now I'm going to do exactly the same, but move on to the next cheek. Now, like I keep saying to you, it's not a case of, right, that's me now, I'm cured, I'm going to be great, my glutes are going to be spot on for the rest of my days. We keep revisiting these areas as we're going through the mobility overhaul. The idea is you find a sore spot, you try to make an improvement on that sore spot, as in minimise the pain after it. You can put a lot more weight on it than you could when you started. That's not just going to happen straight away, okay? So you work in one area, your glutes are a big area, okay? So next time you come back, you think, no, I'm going to spend 2 minutes on my glutes. Find another problem area within the glutes and work on that. Break it down, okay? Sure thing, you could spend an hour. We could literally just spend an hour doing this mobility exercise drill. Right, okay, so I'm sitting on that ball. First of all, I'm not really putting all my weight onto it yet. I'm just going to do a wee kind of search and find any sort of main problem areas. You're going to find probably quite a lot, okay? Find the one that feels probably the worst to you right now, and that's individual to you. There's no point me saying go to this area. Don't be complicated. Just get sat in the ball, move it around the butt cheek and find pain. Okay, so there I've found pain. I'm going to just have a wee wiggle around the painful area just to find the dead centre of that pain. Okay, so I'm trying to do my best to talk you through this. You've found the pain, now try to find the ground zero of that pain, if you like, where it's really at its worst. Right, now I've got that. Right, so now what I'm going to do is sit onto that ball with all my weight, start to take the weight off my arms now, and just let that butt cheek sit into the ball. And I'm trying to imagine that ball is just, the muscle tissue is just slowly wrapping itself around. Now, if there is a lot of pain and discomfort, which I'm sure there is for pretty much everybody on here doing this, if you've found a good spot, the hardest bit is fully relaxing that glute. Because if there is pain, you'll wince against it and you'll fight it. Your body doesn't want you to inflict pain on it. So you'll find that you aren't fully relaxing the glute. So the first part is always just to conquer it, getting the weight on it. You have to pay attention. You know, this stuff seems pretty basic. You know, I could sit and watch the TV while I'm doing this. Yeah, you could, but it does take a good bit of concentration to make sure that your mind doesn't wander, because you could end up sitting on here for 30 seconds to a minute and you've not done anything, as in you're not even feeling any pain or discomfort because your mind's wandered. So really focus on the task at hand, okay? As mundane and as simple as it is, the pain will keep you interested, I'm sure. So, okay, so I've been on this now. I'm starting to feel I'm relaxing, okay? And when I say I'm relaxing, it's still blooming uncomfortable. But I'm going to add a wee bit of side to side, up and down, and just, I'm not moving off of the painful area here. I'm just trying to imagine I'm breaking it up with a little bit of movement. So I'm trying to smash it against the ball. Simple as that. Okay, and change the position of your leg as well. Don't just fix. Try to find the best possible way. Okay, and if it's more uncomfortable, more painful, that's a better way. You're getting more from it. So I've been on here a wee while. I'm feeling I'm getting a good bit of weight. In fact, I feel I'm getting all my weight down onto that ball. It's not nice. So now I'm going to add in my contract relax. So squeeze the butt cheek and relax it. Just make sure you've not moved off the ball. Squeeze, relax. Okay, so when you're doing that squeeze and relax, you might just push the ball off the painful area. So just reset if you need to. And again, change the position of your leg. See if you can get in a better angle. And then now I'm just going to add my smashing and my flossing in. So now I'm just going to pin in the painful area. This is always the worst one, okay? The smashing and flossing is usually the worst one. This is me just trying to now get as much weight onto that area, stay relaxed, okay? So have to try and stay relaxed. That's where you've got to try and disconnect from the pain and discomfort. Just try to break up that muscle tissue as best you can. Nasty, nasty, yes, I know, but that's the whole point. And this is where it's quite easy for people to turn up to a mobility class and literally just go through the motions, okay? Just kind of half-assedly do it and be bored. Okay, you should never be bored doing this stuff because, like I say, the pain itself is going to keep you in the zone. So I'm crossing that leg across now just to open up those glutes. And then for the last 30 seconds, I'm just going to smash the entire area. Okay, I'm just going to try and find any pain and just go for it now. Okay, so I'm just trying to explore the whole area, see exactly what we're dealing with. Oof, there's a lot of pain in that spot. I didn't get a chance to get there. So next time I do a wee bit of 2-minute work on my glutes, I'm going to go there. Okay, and that's where this is becoming part of your routine. So you're going to find areas worse than others. Okay, relax there, everybody. Well done. So we've spent a bit of time just trying to break up those knotted up glutes of yours. Okay, and again, the test always is stand up tall, squeeze your butt cheeks as tight as you can, and you should feel all of a sudden, hit. You're getting a hell of a lot more contraction, okay? We're getting a lot more into them. So hopefully if you've done that properly, you can feel the power. And I'll pull that face just to demonstrate the power of that glute squeeze, okay, that I'm now able to achieve just from spending a few minutes on each glute. So now we're going to combine it with our favourite glute mobility movement, mobility drill, mobility exercise, stretch if you like, and that is our good old enhanced glute stretch. So chuck the front leg out 90 degrees, pin that foot down with a hand, because if you're pretty damn stiff, that foot is going to want to slide or that knee is going to want to go forward, which we don't want, so we're trying to keep and maintain this here. If you're on a hard floor, you're going to need a mat, and it's for the back leg, not the front. So up on top first, and what I'm trying to do here is just get on top of my body, get on top of that leg, sorry, with my body, and try and just bring that leg back down, okay? And then get my back leg, push it straight behind me, okay? So my back leg, although you can't see it, is pushed straight behind me, and I'm just trying to square myself off over this leg as if I'm trying to do a press up. Simple as that. Now, getting that knee down alone, it could be hard work if you're pretty tight. So we're going to be feeling this in the glutes, okay? But you're also going to be feeling it in the hip capsule. Around the hips is probably the best place to describe it. Your outer side of your hip, that's where we're going to feel it. You might not quite feel it in the glutes yet until you start getting down, but I'm pretty sure you'll probably feel it somewhere unless you do this regular. So all I want you to do, same again. This is us stretching now. So my stretch process is simple. Get into the best position I can, okay? Make sure everything feels right, and then focus on my breathing. So I'm trying to relax into this as well. Okay, it's uncomfortable. It's not nice, but I'm trying to relax. If it's very uncomfortable, it's very hard to relax, but you do your absolute best. Now that I've been here, I'm in this position, I feel the muscles have relaxed a little bit, so I'm going to take it a wee bit further. Now you can take it further simply by imagining you're in a press-up position and you're trying to lower yourself down into a press-up position. Now if you feel you've got plenty to play with, rather than turn it into a stress position, you can just drop onto the elbows as if you're in an elbow plank. Okay, now that has got more weight onto that leg. It's enhancing the stretch, and I'm trying to push my hips down. Now, if there's a lot of tightness in here, and I can feel it myself right now, you'll find that, you start tensing up. You don't fully relax that joint. So focus on your breathing, and imagine that you're just trying to sink into the floor. All the muscles in your body are just completely relaxed, okay? So just relax, make yourself feel heavy. Good, and you're just trying to sink into the ground. And again, just try to relax every muscle in your body. And if you let out a wee fart, it's okay because you're muted, okay? So you're in the comfort of your own home. So I know we're all very relaxed. We're trying to relax the muscles. So if you hear a wee squeak, it's all right. Nobody else will. Unless you're holding a position and you've got to hang about. If you're on a high protein diet, you've got to hang about with that horrendous smell. Okay, so I don't have that luxury. I'll let it all out after the class. That's why we've had to start limiting them to 45 minutes. Right, anyway, we're going to... Some people are laughing, some people are disgusted. This is when you get to see the difference in people. Right, okay, so we're up. We're pinning the other leg down now, okay, and then we're getting up on top. So you might find that one side might be significantly tighter than the other. That's fine. You now know the position from the front, so I'm going to move to my side so that you can see what's going on with the rest of my body position. So I'm up. First part is just trying to square myself over my body. You look at the back leg, it's straight. I'm trying to push that back. And then once you get in this kind of semi-position, get in the best position you can first before you start going down. So see what I mean about how you have to pin this foot, because if you watch, if I don't, because I'm pretty tight on this side, see how that foot just wants to automatically start sliding away, okay, because of that tightness in the muscles, it's able to do that. I don't want that. So that's why if you are pretty tight, like you can see I am, I want you to pin that foot, square yourself up. It might not be pretty, and then just start hanging about. And then start your process of relaxing. Okay, so I'm up here, I'm pretty high on this one, and it's feeling pretty damn tight today. And again, just relax. Get everything nice and chilled. Try your best to relax the muscle. Of course, there's always that ongoing level of discomfort with stretching. Again, depending how tight you are in the first place, but quite a high level of discomfort. And then when you're able to, just start lowering down. And the purpose of lowering down is to enhance the stretch. So if you're not enhancing the stretch, you're not doing it right. And that's where you've just got to be sensible. Make sure you stay relaxed each time you try to enhance. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. And all I'm doing is I'm just trying to push down on top of that leg to try and open up that hip a little bit more. Okay, simple as that. Pretty damn simple. So far, we've done the glutes. So you can see why it's going to be broken down into parts, because what I'm not going to do is rush through it. It's going to be a combination of mobility drills and flexibility. So stretching and foam rolling. Picking the best of the bunch. Okay, everything that we've done for each muscle group, picking the best movements and drills that we've done and merging it all into one. So we're going for a full lower body overhaul. Probably realistically looking at probably 3 parts. Maybe even as far as 4. Crazy, I know. But like I say, I want to spend quality time. Right, relax there, everyone. I want to spend quality time on these drills. Right, okay, now I want you to grab your band, but before you do, get up, walk about, and just shake everything out. Let everything kind of come back to normal. So, I want you to grab a nice thick resistance band, or if you don't have one, a towel will do. It really will. It'll be absolutely fine. And what we're going to do while we're working on the glutes is just bring in a mobility drill that's pretty damn good for getting a lot of things going. Okay, we're going to help work the glutes into the hip capsule. You're going to feel it running right down what will feel like your IT band. For those of you with tight lower backs, you're going to feel it in the lower backs, the obliques. It's a really good stretch. Now, if you're pretty, and like I say, beginner, as in you find it pretty uncomfortable, then just that, you're going to find it pretty damn uncomfortable. So you make sure that you do it properly, okay? There's no sense in you going into this and doing it half-arsed because it's a bit uncomfortable. Grin and bear it and do your best to relax. Some people will find this one no bother. A lot of other people will find it pretty nasty. So I want you to hook the band around your foot as if we're doing the hamstring stretch, but we're not, okay? And even when we move into this, you might well think, this is the hamstring stretch. Well, you're gonna be wrong. So I want you to get into the hamstring stretch first. Get plenty of tension on this band, and it's important that you make sure it's on the ball of the foot, as in it's not gonna go pinging off and hitting you in the face. So I want you to get back, plenty of tension. Obviously, if you don't have a towel, you can't pull the tension down, so just make sure if you have got a towel and you're using a towel or a scarf, then pull, then get nice and high up so that you've got plenty. You should feel like there's plenty of force pulling that leg, that femur into the socket, okay, the hip. So I'm in this position. Now I'm doing my right leg. So if you're doing your left leg, it's the opposite of what I say now. So pulling it down as if I'm doing a hamstring stretch, my knee's locked out. Do not let that knee bend at all through this movement. So I'm doing my right leg, and all I'm going to do now is keeping my leg straight, move it off to my left, 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 until it touches the ground. Make sure I keep plenty of resistance in this resistance band. Okay, so I'm doing my right leg, I've moved it across to my left, I've grabbed the resistance band or towel with my left hand. Then I want you to take your right hand, keep it nice and straight, and I want you to rotate your body away from the leg, okay? So you happy with this one? Pretty simple, okay? So I'll show you again. I'll show you again in case you got lost. So if you're doing it with the right leg, okay, which is what I'm doing it with. In fact, to tell you what, if you're confused, do your right leg. So I've got up my right leg as if I'm doing the hamstring stretch. Twist, 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 twist. Keeping that leg nice and straight. Then grab the resistance band with the left arm so that with your right arm, I can twist my body away. Okay, so this is our spinal mobility drill. What's it called again? Is it our spinal mobility, what do we call this? Banded spinal twist, if I remember right, is what we labelled it as. So you should feel this running pretty much from your kneecap joint. Okay, so the knee joint itself, running up the leg, into the hip capsule, into the glutes, into the lower back. Because I'm twisting this now, I'm going to feel it across my abdominals, obliques. And if your chest's pretty tight, you're going to feel it there too. Now, this is one of those movements that you could quite easily half-arsely lie in 50% effort. Okay, we don't want that. So, how do we enhance it? Keep that leg straight, lift it higher, twist further. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure this shoulder blade is pinned to the ground. People who are fairly mobile and fairly flexible throughout their body, you're going to feel this one considerably, but it'll feel more like a nice, easing you out kind of stretch. For beginners or people that are less mobile, you're going to feel it pretty damn uncomfortable. Do not give into it. Check that knee out. Is that knee straight or is it bent? It should be straight. If it's bent, you're giving into it. Sort it out. Get it done properly. Get something from it, okay? So, I want you to think. Same again, sinking into the ground. All the muscles are relaxing. The muscles in my legs especially are just sinking down. I'm feeling this predominantly in my hip, running down my leg, but also I'm getting the rest of my upper body involved. For those of you with pretty damn tight lower backs, you're going to feel this one good. Okay, we're going to hold it for another 10 seconds, trying to make sure you're getting the most from it. How do I get more from it? Pull that resistance band or towel, okay? This should be pretty damn uncomfortable for everybody, regardless of how long you've been doing this or how often you do it. So I want you to ease out there. And to ease out, just simply get out of the position, okay? So hopefully you felt that one is a good one. And that is another one of those movements that we're getting a lot from it. It's not just one area. It's really good for mobilizing the full kind of hip area into the lower back. So key points, and you'll see it better this time because I'll be coming towards you. Very quickly, before you get ahead of the game, watch me. I'll go quickly to show you. Okay, so I'm up into the hamstring stretch. Plenty of pull down on this band. Okay, and all I'm going to do is go across my body. Look at where my leg is, okay? It's not down here. It's up as high as I can. And then I'm getting a good grip with my right hand, and I've got to pull it tight. Okay, because I want to feel a good stretch. If I'm not pulling this resistance band tight, okay, it's going to feel pretty chilled. So now, left arm's going across, I'm twisting away, and oh my word, now I'm in a damn good stretch and it feels pretty uncomfortable. Okay, predominantly leg into the hip, into the lower back. Let's go for it, everyone. Okay, so key points always, make sure the knee's locked out, make sure you're pulling this band nice and tight, and make sure you're twisting away in the opposite direction, trying your best to pin that opposite shoulder down. And this is just a static hold, but it should be a fairly uncomfortable static hold. Focus on your breathing, deep breathing, okay? If it feels all right, move the leg a wee bit higher, as in a fraction, pull the band tighter and just make sure you've got as much tension on there as you can. Again, I can't say it enough, make sure that knee's not bent. So we're twisting away from the leg and we should be relaxed. You shouldn't find yourself tense. It's horrible, I won't lie to you. It's a pretty uncomfortable stretch if you do it properly. But hold it, do it correctly, and don't give in to it. You're trying to enhance it. We're not holding it for that long. So we've worked on the glutes, bit on the hips. And it's more than just the glutes, as you can feel. With this mobilization drill, you're getting a lot. Okay, we're getting a lot from this. It'll probably let you see exactly what is tight. Okay, so I want you to ease out of that. Beauty of it is, again, recorded. If you're watching this recorded, if you're feeling you need a wee bit more time or you don't want to skip too far ahead, just hit that pause button and do a bit more work. Okay, you can chuck the resistance band away. And now, while we're on the hip area, we're going to get stuck into, stand up first, get the blood flowing. We're going to get stuck into the hip capsule, okay? If you know what you're doing and you know this one well enough, please just get straight into it. Don't follow along with me, okay? Because as always, I'm going to be explaining this one as if you've never done it before in your life. Key part and key point of this one is relax. If you're not relaxed, you're not going to feel it right. If you don't feel it, it's probably because you're not relaxed. Make sure you've got a decent bit of padding. Make sure your knee's comfortable. You're going to be putting all your weight on one knee. So if you're on an uncomfortable floor, you're not going to relax, okay? And that's usually where people go wrong. Their knee's uncomfortable, so they can't quite bear to put all the weight on. Now, the hip capsule mobilization drill is a very damn good drill to do. Doesn't it feel like it at the time? It'll feel weird, but you know, it's all good getting these big muscle groups mobile and being able to get them moving freely. But if the actual joint capsule itself is all stiff and seized up, doesn't matter how mobile and flexible the big muscle groups are, really. So we're going to try and do a drill. We're not going to try, we're going to do a drill that's going to help just open up and break up any tightness in the joint itself, okay? So it's going to feel very isolated. So I'm doing my right knee first. That means you are too, because otherwise it's just going to be confusing. There's no sense in you doing the opposite. So I'm on my right knee. First thing I want you to do is line yourself up so that your pelvis is directly above, as in your hip bone is directly above your knee. So that's putting your femur, that big long bone in the thigh, that's going to put that directly above, okay? So have a wee look, a wee glance, because you'll probably find it, you think that's where you should be, but look how far forward I am. So you should feel that there's a bit of pressure up here now already. Now my left leg, I'm simply going to kick it back behind me, and you can see that it's off the ground. So now I know what it feels like to have all my weight on my right knee. But I want to be relaxed, so I'm going to bring this left leg back down, but I'm just gently placing it on the floor so that I'm still keeping all the weight on here. Happy with that? Simple. Now with my pelvis, okay, I'm going to start pushing my pelvis towards you, towards the camera, while keeping my knee with all the weight on it, okay? So I'm going to emphasize it so you can see. I'm going that way. I'm going sideways. I'm going to try and pop, okay? You're not doing the backward and forward action. I'm trying to do it so you can see, okay? That's the way I'm going. So I want you to try and imagine this long bone that's feeding into the joint. I want you to imagine you're trying to pop it out, okay? You're trying to pop out your femur, out the hip capsule. So straight away when you do that, if there's a bit of tightness, which for most people there usually is, especially those of you who exercise regular, push out, push out, push out, stay relaxed. You should feel the stretch in a very small area that is your hip capsule. Hope it makes sense. Every so often, the biggest tip I'll give you with this one is every so often, see that left leg, just lift it off and then place it back down, because when you lift it off, you'll realize if you're not putting all the weight into this. So I want you to identify and get that stretch on first, simply by pushing the femur out to the side, popping the, what's his face? Popping the femur out the pelvis. Prizing it out is probably a better word for you to try and visualize what we're doing. So once you've got that stretch sensation and you feel that, yeah, okay, I can feel that, all the stretching out in the joint, very isolated, we're going to mobilize the joint itself while maintaining this level of stretch. So how do I do that? I'm going to slowly start sinking the hips. So I'm going to slowly start moving my hips forwards while maintaining, pushing the femur out, okay? Now it's slow. Why is it slow? You probably won't be able to see that I'm moving forward. I'm doing it slowly so that every little millimetre that I move, I'm staying relaxed. I'm in control of this, okay? If you try and just go boom, okay, I can't feel anything now. Why? Because I've completely lost the stretch if I just drop my hips. So I want you to go as fast as you're able to, but maintain the stretch on the joint. Now, if you lose the stretch, stop. Lift the leg up. Relax. Oofed. Right, okay, there we go, I'm back. Because if you lose the stretch, I'm telling you now, it's because you're not relaxed, it's because you've started to fight it, and it's because you've started to activate the big muscle groups instead of putting all your weight onto the knee. So you can see now I'm almost at full extension. So I'm down. Now the more you do this, the quicker you'll get at it, because the more you'll start to understand, and that's why I've said to you over and over again, it's about relaxing. It takes a good bit of thought. I'm coming back up. And you can see that I'm still pushing my pelvis out towards you on the camera. I'm still keeping all the weight on this right knee. And now that I've done one down, I'm just going to speed it up now. Now, don't go this fast if you're not feeling anything. I can go this fast because I've done it repeatedly quite a lot of times now, and I'm able to keep pushing out, I'm able to stay relaxed, and I'm feeling that stretch in at the socket of the hip throughout because I'm able to stay relaxed. I'm putting all the weight on that knee, okay, and I'm mobilizing the joint as I go. So play around with it. Slow it down if you lose it. So it's as simple as that. The more you do this one, the better you get at it, okay? Now, I'm going to change sides. Okay, I'm going to change sides, but I'll face you for this side now. So, in fact, I tell you what, stand up, because I always encourage people to stand up after this one, because it sometimes feels like you've not really been doing anything. You just feel pressure, pardon me, you just feel pressure in your hip. If you've done this right, you should feel the significant difference, significant? Yes, significant difference between the one you've done and the one you've not done. Okay, you'll just feel, try and squat, you'll feel that this leg's a lot looser. Okay, or a lot more loose. Yep, it's damn good. We know it's good. It's a good stretch. It's a good stretch if you do it properly. So don't give up on it. If you're doing it and you're thinking, what the hell am I trying to do here? Okay, don't give up on it. Because those of you who do it properly, you know it's a toughie and it's a damn good one to be doing. Okay, so I'm changing legs. I'm now going to be doing my left leg. So my right leg, everybody, I'm going to push it out behind me. I've got it lifted up off the ground just so I can identify what it feels like to have all the weight on that left leg. And then I'm just going to gently place the right leg back down, but still keep all the weight on my left. Make sure that your pelvis, so I'd recommend you maybe sit back a wee bit, just to make sure that your hip bone is directly, make sure the hip joint's directly above your kneecap, okay? So then, keeping all that weight on my left knee, I'm going to push my pelvis up, move this arm out of the way so you can see. I'm simply trying to push my pelvis out to the left-hand side. It's simple, okay? It's as simple as that. My knee stayed fixed in position. I've got to think about the bone. It's going into the joint and I'm trying to pop it out. I'm trying to pop it out. You might even hear a few pops. Okay, don't worry, you've not popped it out. Well, I hope you've not popped it out. If you have, hang up and unsubscribe. I don't know you. Never have. So pop it out to the side. Okay, and then all I'm doing is trying to get as much weight on that leg as I can. So I've not even started moving forward yet. I'm trying to take it out as far as I can. It will feel like pressure on your hip, but it will feel maybe nice for some people. It will feel relieving. Okay, just try to get the absolute maximum stretch you can on that area before we even start moving. Once you feel that, right, okay, I've got a good stretch on, can't really get much more out of it, start moving forward. Now I said, and I say it again, move forward as slow as you need to keep the feeling there. That stretch sensation in at the hip capsule, you should feel that throughout. If you lose it, stop where you are, lift the right leg up off the ground, because you've probably taken the weight off that left leg, and then think, right, relax. So if you've got yourself on a really crap bit of ground, it's uncomfortable and your knee's not comfortable, you'll wince, okay? And you'll start tensing up because it's uncomfortable. So I can't say enough, make sure you've got a good bit of cushioning below the knee, because if that knee's not comfortable, you will not relax all your weight on it, and therefore you will not be feeling anything happening in this joint. So every time we do this, I talk a hell of a lot through this one because it's a very important and a very worthwhile drill to do. But I know that people don't have a hell of a clue what they're supposed to be feeling, or they don't do it right. So then they write it off and they think, oh, it's this stupid blooming hip movement again, great. Okay, I'm just going to be rolling about on the floor for the next 10 minutes. So please do it properly. And you can see now that I'm moving back and forward quite quick, but again, experience lets me do that because I've done it umpteen times. I now know exactly what I'm trying to do. There's no right or wrong, go right back, get the feel of it, okay, all the weight on that knee, push down, straight out, good, boom, happy days. Right, when you're happy, I'm happy, ease out of that one. If you want to spend a wee bit longer on it, that is absolute. Fine. Okay, right. And just to think, that's just the glutes and the hips themselves. Right, everyone, shake yourselves out. It is time to unleash some hell. Grab your foam roller, everybody. It's time to get stuck into the quads. Now, the quads, big muscle group, big surface area to work with, okay? We don't have time to spend an hour doing the whole area of the quads. Okay, your quads, quadriceps, big muscles that run up the front end of your leg. That is what we're going to be using the big foam roller for. Now, I want you to start at your kneecap, as in just above. We don't want to be foam rolling the kneecap, but if you try to, you'll realise that you don't want to. Starting just above the kneecap, where the muscles all meet in, I'm going to get on there and I'm going to roll the area. Okay, this is the area I want you to go until you get to just about the crease of the hip. Don't focus on the crease of the hip because that's another area. That's a hip flexor area that we're going to be doing next time. But today, quadriceps. Chances are, for most people, you're not even going to get quarter of the way up your quads in the time that we do because you're going to find a hell of a lot of pain and discomfort in and around the joint itself. So, without further ado, simple as, get the foam roller, position it just above your knee, get down into the plank position, but then we need to be relaxed, don't we? So lying on it. First thing I want you to do is simply lie on it, get yourself in a position that you feel you can get a lot of weight on this foam roller. Right, okay, think about the femur, okay? Think about the bone, the long bone in your thigh. Where it's joining in at the kneecap, I want you to imagine that end of the bone is now bending and curling round the foam roller, okay? So with that, you're going to find yourself pushing the bone down into the foam roller. Are you with me? Okay, so I'm trying to imagine I'm curling that bone around the curvature of the foam roller, which is going to help us create that shearing effect, okay? It doesn't sound nice, and that's because it's not nice, okay? So I'm really putting a lot of pressure down on this foam roller, but still keeping the muscles relaxed. Now, I'm going to go side to side. Do not roll backwards and forwards on this thing, okay? Do not roll up and down, should I say. I want you to roll side to side. I want you to think about the muscle tissue. I want you to imagine it's running up the length of the bone into your hip. Think about that muscle tissue as a guitar string. I want you to imagine that you're just strumming those guitar strings going side to side. As soon as you find, and for most people, the most kind of pain you'll get in the quads is around the kneecap area. As soon as you find pain and discomfort, which I am on right now, guess what we're going to do? Relax onto it, get the pressure on side to side, okay, on that problem area. And then your smashing and flossing for this one, everybody, is simple. You're going to bring the leg up, okay? So we're going to flex that knee. And then I'm going to straighten out the knee. I'm going to lift the knee, don't lift the knee. Lift the leg, lift the foot, and then straighten it out. Oh, okay, right, and I want you to work that system as far up your quad as you're able to. However, don't rush. Work on a problem area. Get an improvement on that problem area before you move on to the next. Now, for me, I won't lie to you. I'm probably not going to get very far up my quads because right now I'm getting a lot of horrible pain just above my kneecap, okay? I've got a lot of tightness in there, a hell of a lot. So I'm working my systems, putting as much weight on it as I can, side to side. Look at that movement, okay? I'm holding that spot and I'm just rocking side to side. And it's brutal, okay? It's not nice. Body temperature just went up 20 degrees. And then I'm lifting that leg up, okay? Smashing and flossing. This is where flossing technique that we use here. This is where it's a good one, okay? So pin that sore spot. Don't be shy of this, okay, everyone? If your quads are tight, and I'm pretty sure most people's are, if your quads are suffering here, go for it, okay? Try to relax. Try to think not too much about the pain and discomfort and just try and switch off from it. I know it's not easy, but try and separate your mind from it. Don't be in a rush, okay? Now, don't say to yourself, oh man, I'm still on the same spot I was on. If that spot is so brutally tight and knotted up, it's better to spend all the time on it now than moving on to another one, okay? Or if it's an area, just work on that area. I'm just working above my kneecap on the inside of my leg a little bit, okay? So I'm working a bit of an area here, which we can do with the foam roller because it's bigger. And it's not nice, okay? I won't lie to you, it's pretty damn disgusting. And I hate the fact I have to lie here with this thing and record myself going, oh. So we've not changed legs yet, so no farting about. I'm seeing farting about going on. Stop farting about. So you can probably see for most of us, we've got a lot of work to do on the quads. Don't forget you're contracting relax, but you should know that by now. Contracted muscles, relaxing muscles. Get the fresh blood in there. It's so easy on this stuff, everyone, to fidget. Okay, it's so easy to just get on that painful area and get stuck into it, okay? Easier said than done, but just do it. Because I'm doing it with you. It's just, you know, you can see people wasting a lot of time with foam rolling because they're not putting the right work in. Okay, they're just off and on, off and on, off and on, farting about. You've got to get your body in a position that you're comfortable, okay? So if you're up onto this horrible plank thing, you're not going to hold it long, are you? You're in a stressed position. So you're trying to get nice and relaxed so you can just spend quality time on the problem areas that we've got. Okay, so before we change legs, everybody, I want you to do what I said not to do and roll up and roll down. But as you do it, side to side, because I want you just to identify any problem areas that you've got to work on in the future, okay? So, see for me right now, if I'm honest with you, I could do with just lying in this foam roller for an hour in this position, starting at my kneecap and just slowly working my way up. Because for me, the whole entire length of the quad is brutally agony, okay? And that's me. That might not be you, but so from doing this is an example to you. From doing this, I've now identified, God, my quads are hellish, okay? I need a lot of work done on these things. So for me, that would be a case of, my glutes, of course there's pain in there, but they're not too bad. Quads, hellish, the whole length of them. So I would be saying to myself right now, right, I need to do some work on my quads, okay? Because chances are, if your quads are that hellishly sore like mine are, you might be all right now, but eventually that's when you're going to start getting things like knee pain. You're going to start getting pain in the hip, etc. All because this is starting to get tighter and tighter and tighter and start to put a lot more stress on the joints and starting to pull other areas as well. So catch it early. Don't wait for the pain to arrive. So I now know, for me personally, I knew it anyway, I'm just pretending like I'm surprised. I need to work on my quads and I need to probably put them at top priority on my list right now. Okay, so that's where I would then be like, right, you know what? 2 minutes before I train each leg, just slowly working my way up. Bookmark it, come back to it next time, continue where I left off. Right, okay, I'm changing legs. So I'm getting them lying down. Nice chilled position. Get your body relaxed, okay? We don't want to be in a stress position first, so I'm fairly relaxed. I don't want to be overextending my lower back either, so be careful with that one. And then all I want to do is just find just above my kneecap where the muscle starts to get meaty. Oft, straight away, pain. Okay, I'm trying to act surprised. I knew that was going to happen. So now I want you to, again, think about the long bone in which we're working up. Try to imagine you can curve that round the curvature of the foam roller, which is going to help you create that shearing effect that we're after, as in we're crushing the muscle tissue against the bone. Sounds nasty, but that's what we need to do. These knotted up muscles, are going to need a fair bit of a beating to try and break that up. So that's all we're doing. Okay, we're jamming the muscle between the bone and the foam roller, and we're just trying to, it's almost like a mortar and pestle. You're trying to grind it up, okay? You're trying to break it up from a big horrible knot into a nice fine little powder, okay? But we're not trying to break it up into a powder, so don't try that too much. That means you're doing too much. Your pain tolerance level is far too high. Shouldn't be grinding it up into a powder, but just trying to break up that big horrible knot, okay? And it's no nice. Comes at a cost of a lot of pain and discomfort. Some muscle groups more than others, okay? Don't be guilty of just lying on here, putting about 10% of your pressure on there, just moving the foot back and forward like I'm demonstrating just now, because it feels nice, okay? It shouldn't feel nice. All I'm saying is it should definitely not feel nice. It should feel awful. And you're trying. Work on improving that area first that you're working on now. There is no right or wrong, okay? I'm on that area. You can see I'm rocking my leg back and forward now, just trying to break up that tissue. I'm going up and down around that area, okay? I'm contracting it. I'm relaxing it. I'm just trying to inflict all the techniques at my disposal that I've taught you. Before you start moving up the quads, okay, like I say, just spend a bit of time making sure that you felt a bit of an improvement on the area you're working on before you move up. And just be careful, if you do bridge up onto the foam roller, like you can see I'm doing now, make sure you don't start overextending that lower back, okay? Don't be putting all that pressure on your lower back. Keep things nice and tight. Side to side as you're moving up, okay? So as you move up the length of the quad, side to side, not up and down, okay? Side to side to try and help go against the grain of that muscle tissue to try and break it up further. So think about, I know we don't like to think about, you know, eating meat and what we're eating, but when you eat meat, everyone, you're eating an animal's muscles. Whether you like it or not, that's what we're eating. So see if you ever get a big, grizzly, cheap, honking steak for Sainsbury's or somewhere, okay, and you're chewing it, okay, that's kind of what your muscle tissue is going to be like right now. If you're feeling a lot of pain and discomfort and knotted up, horrible tissue, okay, that cow has not lived a nice life. It's not done its foam rolling, basically. You know, like your Marks and Spencer's ones. But even then, sometimes they can be a bit dodgy as well. Spend a lot of money, think you're getting something better, and you're sorely disappointed. But anyway, okay, that is the comparison. If you ever get something grisly and horrible and it's just like, blah, okay, that's kind of what's going on here. I want you to realise that that's what your muscle tissue's like, okay, obviously. Hopefully you don't cook up your friends for a Sunday dinner. But, right, relax here, everybody. So you could, I hope that makes sense, okay? Some people don't quite understand what their muscles are, okay? That's simple, what we're trying to do. We're trying to make them nice and supple, nice and soft, instead of all these horrible, grizzled up, you know, horrible things. Horrible things, very professional terms I'm using this morning. Anyway, I'm busting for a pee, that's why I can't think straight. So I've just foam rolled my quads, okay? For me personally, I pretty much, we can probably see it because it's bright red. I've only done this portion here, around my kneecap. I didn't have enough time to get up here. I maybe could have, but it would mean taking away time for making that area better. So that's where I would say for me, I need a lot of work. So I've done 2 minutes, I've done more than 2 minutes each side. So for me, again, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, I'll spend another 2 minutes and start a wee bit further up until I've done the full length of the quad, okay, and I feel like I've done some improvement there. These things come and go, okay, it doesn't matter that, you know, I've not done much work on that for a while. That's something I need to do. So take that lesson from when you are doing the mobility work. You might find that your quads, your glutes are hellish. Okay, then put that at the top of your priority. 2 minutes each side and then work in a different area for a couple of weeks. Anyway, that is us. We're done this morning, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. And that is a full lower body overhaul part 1. It's realistically going to take about 4 parts, but we are literally working hips downwards to the feet. Okay, we're even going to have one of those horrible honking foot sessions again. But the idea is for you to follow along and learn about your lower body as we go, for those who maybe never had a chance to pick up all the other stuff before. We're done. Have a good day.